All right, everyone. Hello and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
People might actually be listening to this on Christmas Day. We're basically
Really
just
funny stories,
gonna tell
actually.
each other, tell all our embarrassing stories that honestly I don't think anyone knows yet.
I don't think anybody's heard any of these stories.
So buckle up.
It's going to be fun. Before we get to that, we wanted to play just a little game to
Just
get
a little
us going.
Christmas jingle, you know?
So pretty much like you don't realize how many Christmas songs you just absolutely mumble through when you sing them.
Yeah.
We were thinking about it the other day. We were driving, listening to Christmas music, and it just gets to that part where you're like,
And like they're the most popular Christmas songs that you think you know, and then you
Yeah.
go to sing it and you're like, oh, I actually had no idea.
So we actually looked up to the lyrics to one and we're like, oh yeah, that we are completely off. So we're going to play a game together.
Yes, we are going to play a game. Yeah, Blake or I is going to sing a Christmas lyric, Christmas sentence,
Yeah,
and
borderline on sing, but.
we'll see. Oh yeah, we'll see what happens. And then you have to finish it, basically.
So separately, we've picked a few songs that we thought would stump each other to see if they can actually finish our lyrics.
I don't know how hard.
So-
Mine aren't that hard.
You can play along too to see if you actually know what these classic Christmas songs. You might be listening to some of them right now and you have no idea what they're saying.
Can I start?
All right.
Okay. Ready?
Are we keeping score? So
Yes.
okay. So if I
If you
can
finish
finish
yours,
yours, I get a point.
if you finish yours, you get a point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. By the way, I can't sing and Blake can, so
I can't. I
50
got a bit of a stuffy nose.
50-50 here.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
I hope we don't choose the same one.
Okay. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet.
Do it again.
Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet.
Is this Jingle Bell Rock? Is that the song?
Just answer. 3.
Wait, one more time, please.
Jingle up, giddy horse, pick up your feet.
Hold on, that's not what you've been saying.
Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet.
Jingle around the clock.
Very close. Oh, yeah, actually, that is it.
That is it.
That's exactly it.
Was that Jingle Bell Rock?
I think so.
You don't know what song it was?
Yeah, one of them.
1 point, Blake.
That was unbelievable. Maybe I sang it differently the last time. Okay, your turn.
Mine, I don't think mine's the same song,
Okay,
but it's pretty close.
I'm scared.
Okay, 1 point, Blake. Here's yours. We'll start easy.
Okay.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring.
Snowing and glowing. Ba-da-da-da-da. That's the
Nothing?
jingle bell. Okay, go one more time. Also, you picked the exact same song I did.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring.
Snowing and glowing.
What's glowing?
Da-da-da. I don't know.
All right.
I'm sad. Okay, do it all.
Sorry. Maybe this game is actually annoying for you guys to hear.
Go.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun.
Oh, come on.
Now the jingle hop has begun.
That is your rest of yours are harder than that.
I never knew that one.
Good luck to me.
No, I didn't
Sorry
say
we did
that.
the same one. Let's mix it up here. Okay, my next one. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You have to get at least 3 of these to get a point. You'll know what I mean in a minute.
Okay.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my
No
true love gave to
problem.
me.
6 days? 6 geese a laying. 5 golden rings. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a freaking pear tree.
Unreal.
Thank
You
you.
just didn't know if you knew that song. Of course. Okay.
All right. Here's another one.
Hang on. It's 2-0.
Ready?
Yeah.
Hark the hair. That's not how it goes. Hark the herald.
Hark the
There it is.
herald angels.
Hark the herald angels sing.
Glory to the newborn king.
Wait.
Yeah. No.
Peace on earth and mercies mild. This is the one I wanted you to do.
Well, tough. You paused
you
and gave
just
me the
kept
first
going.
sentence.
This is does anybody know Christmas songs are actually one of the hardest songs to sing?
Okay, do it one more time and I'll try to get the second
Okay,
line.
hark the herald freaking angels sing, glory to the newborn king. Peace on earth and mercies mild.
No idea.
You're doing
Something
great
about
at this game.
the king.
God and sinners reconciled.
Oh my gosh. Shocking.
You wanted to play.
2-0, last one. Here we go. Ready? In the meadow we can build a snowman.
And pretend that we're Parson Brown person.
Okay, try one more time. That's close. In the meadow we can build a snowman.
And pretend that we are Parson Brown or something.
Okay,
That
we
is.
may have to give
Is
this
it a
to
person?
him. Then pretend that he is Parson Brown.
It is Parson Brown.
Yeah,
What
you're
is
a
a
freak.
Parson Brown?
No idea. Okay,
Comment below if you know what the heck that is.
3-0.
All right.
It's all right.
You have 0?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Are you doing one more for me?
Do you even care about Christmas? Yes.
Gosh.
Oh, holy night, stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth.
The stars are brightly shining.
You think it says the same thing that I just said?
What is this?
Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appears.
Okay.
So fair.
I think yours were a lot harder than mine. I think that's basically what happened.
You're a liar.
3-0 though.
I'm literally on a website that's like top 10 most famous, 10 most popular Christmas songs. And you didn't know any of them.
I do know all of them, but like you said at the start, we just mumble them. Now I know. Now I'm ready for this year.
Okay, well, I will take the trophy for the first annual Finish the Lyrics Duffendyke Christmas Tell All.
Okay, well, I'll be practicing
show.
for next year.
Thanks for playing along, everybody. Hopefully you're still listening. That didn't annoy you too much.
We are
Was it
moving
fun?
on. I enjoyed it. Okay, so we are going to get into some embarrassing stories pretty much from when we met till now. Got quite a few stories for you guys. This is going to be one that you're for sure going to want to listen to. If you want to know any dirty little secrets of ours, here we go. You want to kick us off?
All right. This is actually going to be really fun. So let's start with we first met, our very first date. We've said in the last podcast, or one of them, about how our first date, Vicky decided she's going to squat behind a tree and pee on our first date. So that's kind of how things started. Okay, so not only did she pee on our first date, but to start it all off, we meet and we're walking to where we're going to sit and chat. And around this time was like the presidential election with Donald Trump, and she's asking me all these questions, and I'm like answering some, and then she's like, yeah, well, everyone in Ireland thinks Trump's a penis. Just like, I've known this girl for 5 minutes, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's...
It just came out of my
okay.
mouth. It's just what everyone
exactly.
thinks.
Like, oh, that's where we're going. Okay.
You thought it was hilarious.
I did think it was hilarious, and here's why I thought it was hilarious. Because then...
Yeah, he decided to keep this part from me. He just laughed his head off.
A few months later, in December, we go to Amarillo for her to meet my family. And literally, we pull into my parents' house, and my dad is flying a Trump 2020 flag.
Yeah.
Then we walk in. Was he wearing a hat and a shirt?
It was everywhere.
It was everywhere. And Vicky loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
But like that's how it started, and then she met my family, and it was like freaking Donald Trump.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Everyone's a big fan of him in Texas. Okay, let us know if you've ever said anything more embarrassing than penis on your first date.
Stop saying penis.
Why? You love it. Okay. Okay, so this is one of my favorite stories. We first met. I didn't really know him. Went over to his apartment for a coffee. I mean, we were already in love, but it was like 2 days in. Anyway, he showed me around his tiny apartment.
It
was tiny. And he just showed me around.
It was small, but at least it was crappy.
So everything was small. Anyway, went into his room and I was like, oh no. Like literally in my head, I was like, oh gosh, he's poor. So he had a pillow and a pillowcase. But then he had what we would call like underneath the duvet. What do you call it back home? We don't call it a comforter. We like the insert, a duvet insert was on his bed. So a naked bedding, he hadn't made his bed yet. So either
that's what you thought, yeah.
It's in the wash or he's poor. Like I literally was like, oh no. I was like, what's wrong? Something's really wrong in here.
I don't think you actually told me this till
well, I asked
later.
you when I was like, hey, like, you know, or do you need a duvet cover?
And I was like, what is a duvet?
So people here just don't dress their bedding. They just
I've never heard of a duvet. And in fact, I was
just
kind
have
of
a comforter
insulted because I had a goose down. We call it a comforter. It's just, it comes as it is. It was white.
It's a white,
fluffy, and it was on my bed.
It's the insert of it. It's the insert of a duvet.
And I'm like, this is nice. And she's like, it basically is like looking at underwear.
Yeah.
Like it's not dressed.
It's not dressed. I literally
But to me, I was like, oh, my bed looks really nice. I have a nice white, clean
yeah, he thought it looked amazing.
Comforter on it.
Oh my goodness.
I've never heard of a duvet in my entire life.
A duvet cover.
Yeah, whatever.
So maybe we call the inside of it just the duvet and then the duvet cover. I don't know. But it basically
Never
looked
heard of
like
it.
it wasn't dressed. Like he kind of like I just didn't look right. So
well, it was on like a little twin mattress anyways.
Yeah. We currently have a duvet cover and have had one ever since we've been married and everything's okay.
Cultured now.
But I just
so she's complaining about the duvet, and then literally it might have been the same day she clogs my toilet. I am not joking.
Stop.
So bad that
At least I felt comfortable.
She had to crack the door open and like tell me, or else there was about to be a problem. If it was about to go all over the bed or the bathroom
I flushed
floor,
it 3 times.
Oh
it was
my
because
gosh.
it was a crappy apartment.
This was like the first time she went to my apartment. She clogged
2 days into knowing him.
my toilet.
Okay, so his bedroom is connected to his bathroom. And obviously I wasn't going to open the main bathroom door because he had a roommate. So I opened his bathroom door and I was like, Blake, I was like, I need your help.
It's like the fact that you pooped at my apartment the first time you're there is like,
I felt comfortable.
Somebody's comfortable.
I knew we were going to get married.
And I was like, oh.
I was mortified.
I had to put on a face like, no problem. I don't care.
But it nearly
Let me go fix it.
Actually, the water nearly went over the top. The third flush.
You're rotten.
The third flush was the worst because it actually rose so high that I was like, if I try and flush this again, it's 100% spilling over.
Now everyone's going to look at you differently.
Everyone poops. Liberty has the book. It's called Everyone Poops. And I just felt comfortable. We were already family. Okay?
Not everyone clogs the toilet.
But you had to go in.
Gosh.
I'm sure people are wondering if you saw my poo.
Yes, I had to go in and
fix. Did you?
It didn't flush. We established that.
It was tiny.
Oh my. So that's how.
That was all the same day.
That was like, day 2 of knowing each other.
We loved each other even more, you know?
Ugh. Made us closer, I guess. So that was probably as embarrassing as it gets for Vicky.
Yeah, that's the worst story.
But I'm secondhand embarrassed because I have to act like this doesn't bother me. And I had to fix the toilet and never talk about it.
You haven't had to do it since. Okay, so that first Christmas, knew each other a couple of months. So the whole Trump stuff in his family home. Anyway, I think it's funny. And then we fly to Dublin, Ireland and go to meet my family. So pretty sure we had COVID or a horrendous flu that Christmas of 2019.
Yeah, right before flying.
Right before flying. So I had it a day or two before Blake. So I was over by the time we had to fly. But Blake, that whole morning that we were about to fly and we were all packed up, he was laying on the couch with a high temperature and wasn't well.
Yeah.
No way
Sorry.
we're not going to Ireland though.
Right.
So we go to Ireland and he sleeps on most of the plane. He's fine. First long haul flight. So we get to London before we get to Dublin. And I'm going to tell on you. And literally, you know, when you have an infection in your mouth, the smell of his breath, like he's about to meet my parents for the very first time. And he looks pretty rough.
I'm like pale white.
Pale white. He also has bleach blonde hair. I actually loved it when we first met. Like the sides were brown, the top was blonde.
But I got it freshly done in Amarillo.
You got it freshly done, so it was all purple white. Like he was using purple shampoo. Anyway, it was just carnage.
It's extreme.
So we arrive. Sorry, we're in London, and I go and I have to buy some Airwaves. Every Irish person knows what Airwaves are. They're real spicy eucalyptus chewing gum. So it sort of helped, sort of masked the smell. So we arrive in Dublin and I'm super giddy. So is my mum. My dad's excited to see us. And Blake's just like, first of all, he's never felt being jet lagged before. He's exhausted and he's miserable and still has a fever.
Yeah.
So first of all, I was like, he's not just good looking, Mum. I promise. He's really sweet and chatty, and he's actually hilarious if you get to know him.
Just trying to talk me up, and I'm like,
I mean, they loved you, and they knew you felt miserable. Like, there's nothing worse.
I literally had nothing to say to them. You know, like when you're sick, don't feel well, like nothing's even going on in your brain. I couldn't even make up small talk. I was just like,
you just staring.
Yeah.
We went and like saw some nice views and like you could still like take it all in, but you were tired. But he did cheer up when we went to Johnny Fox's and had a pint of Guinness.
Yeah, Guinness helped. But her parents' first impression was this punk, pale kid with bleached hair, can't even carry a conversation. And like I'm trying, like we, at this point, this is 2 months into dating, and we're gonna get married, so you need to make a good impression. We even thought like going into this, Vicky thought I was going to talk to her dad at the house about marrying her. And literally,
when you were getting married, so I'm like,
they just are seeing who I am, and I have basically 10 days to prove to him that I can marry his daughter and get his blessing. And I'm so sick, look like crap, can't hold a conversation, and Vicky thinks I'm going to ask her dad if I can marry her. It was a nightmare. So then it was like, the next night, her whole family comes over for a big dinner.
We basically did like a pretend Christmas because we were home a little later because we did Christmas with your family.
Yeah, that's right.
So this was like basically our Christmas in Ireland with my whole family.
Yeah.
Blake's feeling a little bit better.
A little better. Her whole family's come over. I'm sitting next to like Vicky's 90-year-old grandma. They make all the food, everything. And everybody's eating. And I guess I knew there was a right way to eat, but I'm just like, stabbing it.
Did you actually used to do that?
I don't think it was that bad. I have cop on, so I see that everybody's eating a certain way with how they flick the knife on the fork, and I was just completely out of place. I had no appetite. My plate gets loaded up. And I'm trying to eat this and not be rude.
You didn't know how to hold your knife and fork properly.
No. And then her 90-year-old grandma eats her whole plate, completely cleans it. And I'm just like, I can't eat it. I feel so sick. And so I just like put my knife and fork down or something. And I'm like, I'm not done, but I still had food on my plate. And Vicky's like, are you done eating? And I was like, yeah. She's like, put your knife and fork together. Like, this is how you know that. Your
knife and fork have to be touching on the plate. The knife's on the right, the fork's on the left. And they're touching and they're on your plate. And then people know you're done with your food.
Yeah.
If you leave them open, face down, then that means, or kind of to the side, that means that you're not done yet.
Well, I didn't know any of this etiquette.
You love the etiquette excellence of Ireland.
I do it now. I do. But I didn't know any of it, and I didn't feel good. And I'm just like, I literally have to tell people when I'm done by how I place my silverware.
You would rather have been in America eating Chick-fil-A?
I felt bad because I couldn't finish my food. So now I'm insulting your mom because she probably thinks that I hate her cooking. It was a disaster.
It was.
and then I look like a punk. So
Can we put up a photo somehow?
yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, we'll pull up a photo.
Yeah.
But
Of you and my granny holding that Christmas cake with your bleach blonde hair.
gosh,
Okay, so one of the biggest letdowns since we've been together, was my 30th birthday.
excuse me.
You know this. It was shocking.
I tried to do it big.
Gosh, you just can't do big in Lubbock, Texas. I think that was why. Like,
It
if
was a
if you flew me
disaster
to
from
New
the
York,
get-go.
that would have been fine.
It was a disaster from the get-go.
Let me just tell you guys, the very first time I ever got in a limo was when I was 15 years old. My parents, my mum and dad, me and my sister fly to New York City. Someone's there holding the sign, Kirtland's, whatever. So we go follow him, and then he beeps his car key at this car, but right beside it there is a white stretch limo, and the boot, the trunk, whatever you guys call it, of that pops up. And I'm like, no way. And I started crying. And my
I
dad...
never knew this story.
Yes, you do. And my dad, I've said it a couple times, and my dad arranged us to be brought in a limo from the New York airport to our hotel.
Ian.
So that's my only experience of a limo. Now you can kick off what happened.
Well, I didn't know that epic story, so that would have been good to know that your dad's already done it epic.
Yeah.
So, Vicky's 30th birthday is coming up. I don't remember how long we've been in Lubbock. Not that long. Liberty is probably 3 months old.
Yeah, she was.
And I'm like, okay, we just had Liberty. We're kind of getting settled into Lubbock. Like, I want to do something super nice for Vicky. I want her to have the best time, get away from Liberty. Literally, this is the first time we'll be away from Liberty since she was born. So I'm like,
Birthday's the 4th of July. Surely it's going to be amazing. And in New York, I'm hung up on that story in America.
It's like, I'm going to invite some friends. She's not going to know. She's going to be putting Liberty down before the babysitter comes. We'll have all the friends come in the house. We'll have balloons, all this stuff. They'll be like, surprise, we're all great. We're all going to go eat together, which you knew we were going to go eat with some friends. Mm-hmm. And then the surprise was, all right, we're going to go eat. And then there was going to be a limo outside our house. It's going to drive us around. We're going to hang out, and it's going to take us to the restaurant, drive around a limo. We get to just have fun in the limo. Whatever.
Okay, you've said enough. So that's what it's meant to be. A couple of friends came over. That was all great. Hung out, had a drink, happy days. So we're going to walk outside, and Blake's been a little bit weird. And I'm like, oh gosh, like there's something outside. Like there is another surprise. Fantastic. So we go to walk outside. There's a white stretch limo.
Nailed it.
Great. So we go to get in the limo. The AC isn't working, and it's 104 degrees, which is like 40 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Literally, you know that wow factor of when you get in a limo and you're like, wow. It was like overwhelmed, anxiety. Like I literally was nearly going to say, like, can we just please go?
One of the windows was cracked.
So we sit down. I'm looking at my husband, and behind him is a cracked window.
And there's like 12 people in the...
And there's crap on the ground.
Yeah, like
and then we're in Lubbock, Texas. So we drive around. Obviously, I mean, you're thrilled they're black windows because you have absolutely jack shit to see outside. So that's the only good part. Apart from the crack behind Blake's head, I can see a little bit of concrete and dirt.
Before we left, I told the driver, I was like, hey, it's super hot in there. He's like, yeah, the AC's not working too well, but once we get going, it'll cool down. So I'm like,
it's
okay,
just blowing
I
104 degrees.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, maybe once we get going, it'll cool down. Well, we get going, and it just gets hotter because there's 12 people closed in this thing. And everyone's trying to like pretend like it's not miserable, which makes me feel even worse because this was supposed to be epic, and it's just an absolute disaster. People are sweating, trying to like do a fake smile, and everyone's just having a terrible time. So we're just like, just take us straight to the restaurant. We're not driving around. Yeah,
it'll be cooler later. It'll be dark. So we get the restaurant, and then it's a nice restaurant in town. So they obviously take a little bit longer and look after you a little bit more. So we're in the restaurant for 3 hours.
It took forever to get our food.
It did that night, as well as
And
Yeah,
I'm like, I paid a lot of money for this limo, and it's miserable on the first
we're all
go.
looking at on our phones.
Yeah, so we get to the restaurant. We're like, all right, well, we'll eat. It'll be cooler, and then we'll get to drive around and enjoy the limo,
Have a drink.
listen to music. Yeah, and then dinner takes 3 hours, so we have like 20 minutes left on the limo, and it's just like, just take us home. Like, let's
Anyway,
just chalk
I ended
it
up
as a
getting
loss.
half of the money back because I was so appalled. But literally going
She
from
called the next day. It was like, we're not paying full price.
this is just literally going from my dad surprising us in New York City, getting into that limo, going to a swanky hotel, to a limo with no AC, with a cracked window, driving in around in the dirt, you know, brown, and then you rock up to this
I know.
hotel, a restaurant that's also
Happy
in the middle
30th.
of nowhere.
You will never forget your 30th.
I'll never forget my 30th birthday because it was crap. Yeah,
Yep.
it's true.
You'll never forget it.
No.
It was a disaster.
Yeah. What did you even get me for my 30th? The limo.
The
The freaking limo.
Is that really what I got you?
Probably.
Yeah. Well,
I think our last one, which I'll wrap up with, is Last Christmas.
oh. Okay, this was the worst time I've ever had in Ireland, which I've never talked about having a bad time there. This was the worst experience I've had in Ireland.
Yeah, experience was 15 minutes. Oh my gosh.
It's traumatizing.
I'll set it up a little bit. So in Ireland, on Christmas Eve, Bono used to just do a pop-up out of nowhere and would start busking, but it'd be Bono. Anyway, as the years have gone on, it's sometimes been different people. I don't even remember, what was his name? The guy who did this year.
Dermot Kennedy was
Well
there
done.
eventually.
Yeah. So we are in crowds. We've been waiting for hours. I'm holding Liberty, who's squished. Like, it is pretty
It was
hectic.
packed.
It
It
was-
was epic. It was awesome.
Right. And I was like, we're doing it this year. And Blake was so excited about it. We all went in. I dragged everyone in. My sister's there. Sister's husband, mum and dad, me, Liberty and Blake, we're all squished. And we're like, okay, but this is still exciting. It's Christmas Eve. Bono might show up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you've had 2 or 3 pints because we're there for 3 hours. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden, you're like, I need to pee.
Yes.
So you go find a toilet.
Well, you're kind of waiting like, oh, when is Bono going to come out, or when is the person that's going to do it? So
I can wait to go to the toilet.
we just keep waiting. And as we're waiting, we're sitting outside this pub, and they start like coming and clearing everything, putting tables and chairs away, shutting the doors, locking the doors. So everything as we're waiting is slowly starting to shut down, which I don't realize. And then all of a sudden, I have to pee so bad. Like,
a full pint in you and haven't gone to the toilet
probably
yet.
2 or 3, yeah. And I haven't gone yet.
Oh.
Okay, I'm so excited. I want to be there, but I'm like, I have to go find a restroom. I don't care if I miss it at
And
this
he has
point.
no idea where he is.
No
Been
idea
to
where I
Grafton
am.
Street once.
No idea. I'm
He's like, I'll find a toilet. I'm like,
gonna
okay,
go find.
babe.
I go over here. I see that they have like the trailers that have the toilets on them. So I go over there, and they're literally starting to lock them and load them up. And I'm just like, so I get there right when they're loading one up, so I can't go in there. You know the feeling like when you get so close to when you're about to go.
You kind of like, you haven't let it out, but you're like,
You're-
starting
you're
to
like,
relax your bum
it's
cheeks.
about to get good. And then you can't. Then they're like, no, like, we're taking this away. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I literally start walking around a couple blocks away. I go into, is it St. Stephen's Green?
Yeah.
Which is like a huge shopping mall. And it's shutting down. And I'm like, I can probably find a restroom here pretty quick. I'm looking around. There's not a single restroom
Top floor.
on the whole thing. And I'm
Everyone
like,
knows.
at this point, my stomach is hurting. I'm getting a headache. I'm like hunched over. I have to pee so bad. And I'm just like literally cussing at myself. Like, I'm just going to have to find an alley and pee on the wall and hope nobody sees me. But the streets are absolutely packed. So I see a Circle K. And like here, a Circle K is a gas station. On Grafton Street, it's just like a convenience store. You can go in and buy gum, I guess. But I'm like, okay, I can go in here and they'll for sure have a restroom because I've seen a Circle K before. Go in there, no restroom. There's an upstairs, a Subway above it. So this whole time I'm frantic. Like I can't take big steps and run, or else I'm going to pee myself. So I'm like just hunched over trying to get places. I go upstairs to Subway, and I'm like, they have to have a restroom. Again, get that sense of relief. Like, I made it. We're okay. This whole span is like 30 minutes of trying to find a toilet. Go upstairs to the Subway. They're closing down. There's no restroom.
I don't remember. I thought that you did go pee there.
No, there's nothing there. And I'm like,
Okay,
are you flipping kidding me? What is wrong with Ireland? There's no toilets. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so go down the stairs like I have to run. I'm about to pee all in my pants.
They're
and I'm
very,
like,
they're
at
really,
this
really
point-
steep stairs
At this
too.
point, I'm like,
I know what you're talking about.
I do not care. I will pee my pants. And so I try to go quick. One last big hoorah to try to find a toilet. I start going down the stairs, and I'm wearing these boots that are kind of just slick on them. I literally take one step on the stairs, and I just go. And I fall down the whole flight of stairs and like hit the wall at the bottom. And I'm just like, what the hell just happened?
Did you pee as you were going down?
No, somehow no. And I fell down the whole flight of stairs, and I get up as fast as I can before anyone's like, are you drunk?
Right.
And I'm like, no, I just have to pee really bad. So I try to get out of there, but literally hit the wall on the way.
Oh, I remember what happens next.
And then you say you're at like a Burger King.
Yeah, but how did you find out?
Somebody had your phone or
Okay.
phones got mixed up. It was.
And I said,
so
come to Burger King. Liberty's cold. I'm getting our chips.
Yes. So I'm like, I'm gonna go find it. Literally had to come like 2 blocks.
He looked so mad when he walked into Burger King, and I was like, babe, there's toilets
Get me
down.
on a flight. We're going home.
I was like, babe, there's toilets downstairs.
I never want to experience that again in my life. And so I just sprint down there, and I probably pee for 15 minutes. And it was the greatest wee of my life.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm telling you, that was the absolute worst experience I've ever had.
In your life?
I've never had to pee that bad to where I'm physically in pain. And there was like 3 points where I was like, I get to go. And then it got taken from me.
That's really sad.
And then literally falling down a whole flight of stairs. So I'm already in pain. And then now it's like, well, now I'm embarrassed. It was the worst experience of my life.
Dramatic, but
Wow.
You were pissed when you walked into that Burger King.
Pissed.
Well, that might be all we have. What else?
Well, that's as bad as it gets. That's we probably have more stories to tell.
Yeah, we might leave you in the lurch. That's a good one. Good one to end on.
I face planted last night.
You did face plant last night again yeah. Okay, last real quick one to wrap it up. So last embarrassing Christmas experience happened last night.
Oh my God.
We're literally leaving. We went over to our friend's house for like a Christmas dinner thing, and we're leaving, and they have 2 blow-ups, 2 inflatables in their front yard, front garden, and literally like Blake's walking kind of fast because it's cold, and he's like, like power walking, and all of a sudden his hands are in his pockets, and he just face plants straight on the ground and his head to the side. He's just looking back at me, and then just like jumps up and goes to the car. Like he literally slammed down.
That was the fastest I've ever fallen.
It was the wire, right?
Yeah, it was like a big blow up Frosty the Snowman, and then they had wires coming off of it and then staked in the ground, and they were black.
Well, look, oh my goodness.
So I couldn't see him.
Okay, but luckily it wasn't me, pregnant.
Oh, for sure. It could have been a disaster.
Because you wouldn't have seen.
Literally.
Well, you were thinking you weren't going to walk on the grass.
In my head, I was like, I'm going to just stay on the sidewalk to not walk in the grass. But then I'm like, it's cold. I want to start the car, and I'm going to go open the door for Vicky. So I just cut through the grass. And there's just a tight as can be black cord that I never see. And so I put my hands in my pocket to grab my keys, and it literally just yanked my feet out from under me. And I didn't have a second to think. And I was just straight feet to flat on my stomach and almost smacked my face.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and then jump back up.
You jumped up so quick.
Vicky's just like, what just happened?
Gosh.
I'm like, don't walk there. Don't walk there.
You're like my shoulder. Anyway, that adds to the list.
That hurt. This is the fastest I've ever fallen in my life.
Gosh.
Couldn't even get my hands out of my jacket.
Well, we want to hear some any embarrassing stories from you. I was going to say Christmas stories, but any embarrassing stories from you that you would like us to share.
Yes.
We would love to hear some from you. So if you have any funny ones, message us on Instagram at the Duffendacks and let us know your most hilarious, festive, or just normal embarrassing story.
Well, thanks for spending Christmas with the Duffendacks.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed it.
Now
Hope
you
you
know
have
a
a
little
Merry
more about
Christmas.
us.
Yeah, seriously.
All the stupid crap we've done. Merry Christmas, everybody.
And a Happy New Year.
Have a good holiday. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Bye.